Hi, I'm Warren Eley with Eley Hose Reels, and I'm going to demonstrate the assembly procedure for our garden hose reels. Now, every hose reel comes with a very detailed step-by-step instruction manual. Don't be intimidated by the number of pages or the number of steps. The assembly process really isn't that bad. It doesn't matter if you're mechanically inclined or not, you'll be able to put this hose reel together. Having said that, let's get started.
Your hose reel will arrive in a box like this. The big logo is on the front. There is no logo on the back. To open the box, you want to lay it down and have the logo facing upward. Then you want to open the end by breaking loose the glued end flaps. Once the end is opened, grab the cardboard sleeve and slide the parts trays out of the box. Then lay the contents out for assembly. The hose reel flange and drum assembly consists of two main components, the front flange and the back flange, and they're held together with 3 screws that are included in the clamshell enclosure. The front flange has 3 equidistant holes for attaching it to the back flange, a large opening for your garden hose to feed through, a rectangular opening for the hose strap assembly, and an extruded base for the crank handle. The back flange is a solid flange with 3 equidistant pre-installed nuts for attaching it to the front flange. Attach the front flange to the back flange by aligning these 3 holes with the 3 pre-installed nuts in the back flange. They're all spaced the same, so it doesn't matter which hole goes to which nut. With the 3 holes aligned with the back flange nuts, take the hex key wrench that came with your hose reel and install the 3 screws into each of the holes and start threading them into the back flange. Do not tighten them down until you get all 3 installed. Okay, with all 3 screws started, go ahead and tighten them down firmly.
Now it's time to attach the crank handle. Using the hex key wrench provided, remove the pre-installed screw from the crank handle's center post. With the front flange facing up, insert the crank handle post into the extruded base from above and insert the screw from below. Thread the screw into the handle. Using the hex key wrench, be sure to tighten down firmly. The next step is to attach the arm to the wall plate. The first thing to do is remove these 2 screws from the arm. Using the large end of the hex key wrench, loosen the 2 screws. Then you should be able to remove them with your fingers. Next, you'll need to decide whether you want to attach the arm for parallel mounting or flip it around and attach it for perpendicular mounting. To attach the arm to the wall plate, take the 2 screws you just removed, feed them through the back side of the wall plate, and thread them into the arm. Don't tighten the first one down until you have the second one started. Then grab your hex key wrench and tighten both screws down firmly. When mounting to a wall, the first thing you'll need to do is determine at what height you want to mount the hose reel, whether it's the perpendicular configuration or the parallel. Once you determine the desired height, make a mark on the wall in line with the top left corner of the wall plate. Using a stud finder, locate the outside edges of the stud. The center of the stud should be in the middle of the edges found by your stud finder. The next step is to drill a pilot hole for the top left mounting hole using an 1/8 inch wood bit. Using masking tape, mark the drill bit at 1.5 inches to let you know when you've reached that depth. Next, drill a pilot hole on the mark. You'll only need to drill deep enough until you reach the masking tape. If you're mounting to lap siding, you'll need to make sure you place one of the spacers provided between the wall plate and the siding for each lag screw. For the perpendicular configuration, attach the wall plate in this position for right-handed rewinding. For left-hand rewinding, you'll want to flip it over and mount it in this position. For the parallel mounting, it doesn't matter. You can set the reel up for either left or right-hand rewinding regardless of which side the arm is attached. Using a 7/16 socket on either a socket wrench or a cordless drill, install the top left lag screw through the wall plate into the pilot hole. Tighten to just snug, not firm, so you can still maneuver the wall plate. With the first lag screw in place, set a level across the top of the wall plate. Once the wall plate is level, mark the other 3 holes. The holes are spaced horizontally for 16-inch stud walls. Then go ahead and drill the other 3 pilot holes. Now you can install the remaining 3 lag screws. If using a cordless drill, be careful not to over tighten. Tighten to just a snug fit. To tighten the lag screws down firmly, we recommend using a socket wrench instead of a power drill. This will allow you to manually feel the lag screw tighten down and prevent over-tightening and stripping out the wood with a power drill. With the wall plate now securely attached to the wall, it's time to complete the hose reel assembly. Take the male end of the inlet hose and feed it through the axle from the back side until it just shows out the front. Then take the flange and drum assembly and slide it onto the axle, pushing it all the way on.
Next, take the hose strap assembly and feed the nylon strap through the rectangular opening and push the assembly into place.
Next, install the cam lever brake by making sure the tab on the brake aligns with the notch in the front flange.
The gooseneck portion of the brass swivel can be rotated in either direction to make it easier to install on the hose reel. Now it's time to attach the gooseneck swivel to the inlet hose. Make sure the O-ring gasket is in place.
Then pull a little bit more of the inlet hose through the axle so you can attach the brass swivel. Hand tighten firmly. You can use a pair of pliers if you want to secure the connection more firmly.
And then this aluminum collar threads onto the axle. Make sure everything is pushed all the way on. Push the swivel and inlet hose back onto the axle. Make sure the gooseneck is not hitting the flange, and then thread the aluminum collar onto the axle and tighten to a snug fit. Be careful not to over-tighten. Now it's time to attach your garden hose to the hose reel. Feed the female end of your garden hose through the hose strap. If you're unable to fit the fitting through the strap, there are two possible solutions. First, back the hose strap screw out to increase the size of the loop in the strap. Then pull on the hose strap to make sure the loop is as large as possible. If you still can't get the female fitting through, you'll need to feed the male end of your garden hose through the strap in the opposite direction and pull the full length of the hose through the strap. Now you're ready to attach it to the brass swivel. For right hand rewinding, feed the hose through the flange in this direction. For left hand rewinding, rotate the gooseneck to the opposite side of the flange, feed the female fitting through the strap in the opposite direction, and then feed the hose through the flange in this direction. Whether for left or right hand rewinding, the next step is to attach your garden hose to the swivel gooseneck and then rotate it toward the opening in the flange. Now reverse feed the excess hose back through the hose strap for a snug fit against the center drum. Then with a Phillips head screwdriver, tighten the hose strap screw until the strap tightens down onto the hose. It may take quite a few rotations to get the strap to a snug fit. Be careful not to over tighten. Now it's time to roll your hose up onto the reel. First, turn the cam lever brake to the off position. Then start reeling your hose in by cranking with one hand while level winding the hose onto the center drum with the other. Wrap the hose in a steady side-to-side motion, laying the hose against itself as you go. Once you get all the hose rolled up, turn the cam lever brake back to the on position. To set the cam lever brake, take a 7/16 inch wrench and loosen the adjustment nut until the weight of the watering tool on the end of the hose causes the reel to start unwinding by itself. Then tighten the nut a quarter turn at a time until the reel no longer unwinds by itself. You can adjust the nut to create just the right amount of drag to your liking. Now attach the inlet hose to the faucet and you're ready to use your hose reel. Be sure to have the cam lever on while pulling out the hose. This will prevent unwanted rollout. Then, when you're ready to reel the hose back in, be sure to flip the brake to the off position to release the drag, making it much easier to reel in. Then reset the brake to the on position so it's ready for the next time you use your hose reel.
Well, there you go. Your hose reel assembly and installation are now complete. If you need any assistance or have any questions, you can visit our website 24/7 or reach out to our customer support team during our regular business hours. Thanks again for your purchase of Eley products. We hope you enjoy them for many years to come.